Hi, Fraser Christian, Coastal Survival. Another video on basic bushcraft and survival skills. A lot of these skills that we're covering, I'm going to try and do them in real time. That's how we teach them on our courses. And all of the skills that I video, you can find on different parts of the courses. Look at our website, www.coastalsurvival.com, to find out where we run the actual physical courses. Anyway, carrying on with shelter today. We've already done a little video on how to put up your emergency tarp. But if you've got no shelter at all, you find yourself out lost in the wilderness, possibly just off the beaten track, maybe just off the coast path or off the footpath, and you've got no shelter on you at all, which you should have. We're going to cover what bag you should have, you should take out in the basic kit with you. But if you've only got the clothes on your back, again, you find yourself possibly getting dark, okay, and you can't navigate, and you have to stay out. Besides building that typical debris shelter that you might have seen on some of the survival videos, and a lot of the websites that do survival courses, that little face sticking out of that A-frame, and they're normally laid on the floor, okay, or possibly just on, I don't know, green stuff, okay. And we're going to cover why that's a little bit out of date. We've got some new tech available to us now, and the plan always changes, as you know. And I've been lucky to work with some people out in Sweden, part of the Swedish Survival Guild, and what they've had is thermal imaging cameras on that debris shelter, on that kind of alpine emergency shelter. And when I had them on the course, or some of them on the course, and I covered the debris shelter, the first thing I was surprised about is that they bring green boughs and green stuff to make a bed to sleep on. And one of my first questions is, where's your firewood going? Okay, because that's not how I've approached it, that's not how I've done it. Okay, I used to do this stuff when I was a kid constantly, and where would you know, we're living in Great Britain, it rains most of the time. It's rained all last year, nearly every single day. The ground is soaked now, okay. I am in a deciduous woodland. There are no pine trees around me to make that real quick A-frame or that quick debris shelter. There is debris around me all over the place, but most of it is just wind fallen small branches, okay. And if you haven't got your shelter with you, you haven't got a tarp with you, and you've only got clothes on your back, I'm presuming that you haven't got a massive bushcraft knife and you haven't got a saw with you, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is just look to adapt any natural shelter or take advantage of natural shelter. And one thing we have got is some great big trees here, okay? You can see that the sun's on the tree now, and that's because that's safe facing. And if you look at all of our ancestral camps and the way that people used to live when they used to live by shelter, fire, water, food with their own hands, okay, most of it is safe facing, okay. If we've got any sunshine, we want to take advantage of that. Just like the other animals, they will be on the safe facing slopes on a real frosty cold morning, ready to get that first morning sun. Most important thing I want to do, if I'm going to rest and keep out of the elements, is have the wind off my back. So a tree, big tree like this, offers us 360 degrees of possible places to sit and lean against, okay, to get out of the wind. So first of all, I can get against this tree. The first thing I'm going to do is probably remove all of the green stuff underneath here, because A, that's what I've said, the thermal imaging has shown that green stuff will take heat out of your body. And A, if I'm sitting on stuff, I want to be sitting on firewood, hoping to be able to progress from having some sort of shelter to lighting a fire. So once I've cleared this, the first thing I can do, because there's going to be insects and ticks and stuff, okay, over this. So be really careful. I'm going to probably clear it, don't want to use my hands either. Take it down at least anyway. And the first thing I'm going to do is get myself sitting against the backs of my knees, okay, like that. And I'm going to put all of my digits in. I'm going to close my legs and put my calf muscles into my thighs, put my hands in my pockets, okay, and my bum, okay, wants to be, if I can, like that, just like you would a chair, okay. So I've got a foot underneath me. That's a little bit uncomfortable, but you might not be getting much sleep anyway. But if you can, all you can do is sit like that, okay. And if you can't sleep, you can't sleep. And if you've ever been that tired, you'll know you'll sleep anyway. So that's the first thing I want to do. Insulation, okay, is the air. What we don't want to be doing is in contact with the ground, okay. The tree, okay, yeah, we can say we're in contact with it, but if it's dry and it's been in the sun, it's not wet, we can lean against it. Okay, and it's going to store some sort of energy, but the rest of this stuff is going to take away our energy. And the way that we teach this on the courses about insulation is if you put your hand just above the ground like that, and you notice the temperature, if you can keep the wind off of it. Okay, the air is stopping the heat going from my fingers, from my body, into the ground or into that wood. If I then put my hand on the ground, immediately I notice that this stick, which is obviously really wet, is cold. And if something's cold, it's because it's taking heat out your body. Okay, so if you're on the floor, okay, or even on wet stuff or green stuff that's in contact with the floor, that will be stripping heat out of your body faster than if you're off of the floor. Most boots are going to have some sort of rubber insulation in them. Again, that contact with your feet is going to be taking heat out of your body. So the next video we're going to do is how to make ourselves a little bit of a nest, a crow's nest I call it. Okay, and that's going to be with dead firewood, okay, dry firewood. Okay, if there's no dry fire, we're going to find some dead standing stuff, and we'll cover that in the firelighting videos and how to approach fire. But if I can get myself as many of these sticks that are like slightly dry out the sun now, and make myself just a crow's nest to sit on, that's the first thing I'm going to do.